everyone. So I added way too much salt to this recipe. So as you watch me give instructions, please disregard the amount of salt that I used and use season to taste. Good morning, everyone. So I'm going to attempt to make roast, but using jackfruit as the meat substitute. Traditionally with roast, my grandmother taught me to use cream of mushroom soup. That's a very key ingredient. However, in the grocery stores, all of the cream of mushroom soup is bioengineered. If you go to a Whole Foods, they do have non-bioengineered cream of mushroom soup, but it does have dairy in it. So I'm trying to avoid dairy as much as I can and meat products. So I'm going to have to improvise. So I'm going to use sea salt, jackfruit, vegetable broth, and a broth base that is not real beef and it is not genetically modified or bioengineered. And these are some very raggedy mushrooms that I had in the freezer. I'm going to try to make use of them. And then garlic cloves and cashews. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to make my own version of cream of mushroom soup. I know that there are some online versions of it. However, they do use dairy and they use butter. And so I'm trying to avoid animal products. So this will be me improvising. So I'm going to pour this entire amount, 32 ounces, into the blender, probably little by little so it doesn't spill out. And I'm going to blend it with mushrooms and cashews. Okay, so this is about 32 ounces of vegetable broth. I'm also going to add palm oil to this. Traditional cream of mushroom soup does have some sort of fat in it. So the palm oil, I hope, will create that same sameness. And so I'm going to add about 20 cashews and also a very small amount of oyster mushrooms. Very, very small amount. It's all I had left in the freezer. And so I did thaw them out in the microwave. I ended up using about a tablespoon of palm oil with 20 cashews and about 6 very small pieces of mushroom. The flavor is kind of there. It tastes like a very bland mushroom, but it needs to have a little bit more fat to it. So I'm gonna add a tablespoon of peanut butter. I don't know, I'm just experimenting, so we'll just see how it goes. Okay, so I'm going to add about that much, 75% of an unripened small banana. I'm hoping the banana will give it a little bit more of a gravy texture. That's what I'm hoping. I don't want to add any flour as a thickener or cornstarch. I'm just trying to avoid that. I'm trying to see what natural ways I can create that gravy-like texture. Okay, y'all, so we're getting somewhere. Instead of using one unripened banana, I used 2 small unripened bananas. And it definitely helped with the texture. It's looking more like a gravy in texture. I'd imagine you could probably use an unripened plantain as well. And so next I'm going to add 6. Is that 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, 8 garlic cloves to this liquid. Okay, so this is about 3 tablespoons of the beef powder. Beef powder seasoning. Again, it's not real beef. All right, so I have this on a medium heat, and I'm just gonna let it cook for about 15 minutes. Okay, so for color, so it can have a browner look, I'm going to add a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. Okay, so I ended up adding 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. The color is slightly browner, but not by much. And then I added a teaspoon of palm oil. Again, this is on medium heat. I think this is good enough. I'm gonna now prepare it for the jackfruit. All right, y'all, so it looks like it's coming together. This experiment might turn out well. So this is 2 cans of jackfruit that were rinsed off really well. I'm leaving it in its cubes because, you know, typically when you have roast, when it's finished, it breaks apart in like little cubes. So I'm just gonna keep it as is. I probably needed to use more jackfruit, but I'm just gonna use this since this is an experiment. All right, so I'm adding the sauce. And this is in a slow cooker. I've actually never used a slow cooker before. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, I decided to add another can of the jackfruit to my sauce and the other jackfruits. So this is 3 cans of jackfruit rinsed off and drained. Okay, so I decided to add another can of jackfruit. The reason why I didn't want to keep adding jackfruit is because jackfruit in a can is, to me, it's very expensive. It's almost $5 a can. And because I'm experimenting making this jackfruit roast, I don't want to waste it, but I'm in too deep. We've come too far. So we're just gonna do it. So it's 4 cans of jackfruit. Okay, I have added more garlic cloves. So basically altogether I use an entire, essentially bushel of garlic cloves. And I added 3 more tablespoons of the beef-based seasoning. And then I added a teaspoon of sea salt. And I'm gonna cook it on the slow cooker and we'll see how it turns out. Okay, so I have stirred it. I have not turned the heat on yet for the slow cooker, but that's the texture. So it's pretty good texture, pretty good gravy. All right, so I've poked holes in these and I'm adding olive oil and I'm gonna wrap this up in foil and I've wrapped. Okay, so this has been in the slow cooker for an hour. It smells actually like pot roast, which is interesting. And it looks good. So I'm going to let it cook for another hour. And I'll just work on the mashed potatoes right now. Okay, so these are the potatoes that were baked for an hour at 430 degrees. They were wrapped individually in aluminum foil. I've added a little bit more olive oil. And I'm adding some pepper. And I'm gonna add some salt. I'll probably add a little bit more salt, but we'll see. Because the jackfruit roast has gravy essentially, I may not need to salt the mashed potatoes as much as I would typically, because I don't want it to be over salted. Okay, so I'm just using a masher. I like kind of the tough skin. It has a nice texture to it. I'm just gonna keep mashing that and I'll be back. Okay, so these are the baked potatoes that I mashed. And I'm going to add a little bit of avocado oil. Probably just about a teaspoon. Avocado oil is a little bit more neutral in flavor to kind of give it that butterness, because you need a grease with it. And I'm gonna add a little bit more salt and pepper, then we should be done. Okay, I added a little bit, another teaspoon of avocado oil to this, and I did add the salt and pepper, and the little flakes you see are actually a teaspoon of nutritional yeast. I don't know, I just added it in just because, why not? Okay, so the mashed potatoes are done, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of parsley flakes, and then now we're just waiting for the jackfruit to be finished. Okay, y'all, so my experiment worked, It definitely is pretty darn close to the texture of roast and the flavor of pot roast. So I'm really proud of myself. So now I'm going to try everything together with the mashed potatoes. It's really good. Yep, it's really good. Okay, y'all try it. Let me know what you think and how yours turned out. All right, bye.